Alright, welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Good, so, last session we did a bit of reviewing. Fix, debug, vtune any passing issue. Okay, what was... I don't think that's a proper fix for this. Let me see where let me see where game, what is the file name? Game data debug. How is it loaded? Game data debug. It's loaded in RTS debug. Yeah. So yeah, and this is not loading it. Game data RTS debug. Oh, just realized we still have an internal here. Internal function. Okay, I don't agree with this change. I will fix it a bit better because I broke it. So the way we do it is we first do a revert this commit, and then we unstage all this. And then we go to we go here and we move this back. Yeah. Okay, so this one will be reset. State machine. Okay, partition manager. Okay. Okay, so these are the pieces. Here we also reset this one. Let's see if we are good so far. Okay. And then next step we do um, so I need to say again data debug. Okay, first we remove this here. Debug settings as well. VTune. Okay. I would say we'd simply leave it in debug. So before it was used by internal, then now we just make it VTune used by debug. Whether it's useful or not, we don't care. Save for all. Let me do a generals. Okay. Good. Settings. Okay. If we are debug, load the debug settings as well. I think that's the way to go here. Good, let's compile that and give it a spin. Okay. Good. Oof. Machine is lagging. Oof. Okay, let's create a new branch. Fix vtune debug. Good. Then we say this is gen zh. It's 1231. Fix. What is the error? Vtune. Fix vtune. Fix vtune ini fields pass error on debug build launch. Fix field pass error in game data.ini, game data debug.ini. Let's say from Fix vtune field ini. Fix vtune ini field pass error from game data debug ini. Introduced by. Fix vtune any field pass error from game data. Fix vtune game data debug any field pass error introduced by. Closes. This change fixes the vtune any field pass error introduced by that. Follow up for so this was a blocker debug. This project bug blocker bug debug this project. Okay, cool. Okay, it doesn't scale because the line that the scroll factor is used on is added to the overall scroll amount, but the amount it adds is minuscule compared to the amount added by the mouse position away from the anchor position. This grows large with mouse position. This stays relatively small even when... Okay, so it's really small. I could split it into a separate issue. I also just noticed another problem with RMB scrolling that actually makes it rather abnormal. Let's see. This makes sense, yeah. Okay, let's retest this. Viewport scrolling. Okay, let's take out generals again. Actually, we probably should have tested this build once. Actually, we can still do it. Let's launch this once to see if it launches. So this is a debug build, right? Probably. Let's launch it once, see if it boots up. It did not write it out. Okay. We need to test it later again. Okay, but this makes sense. So basically now it really just scales by the FPS ratio. It's super clean. It just does this one thing, the thing we expect. Yeah. That's nice. Could also make this const here, but I guess it's fine. Just a repercent, so it's independent of game client FPS. The scaling is based on the current logic rate. This provides a I think you can say here dot this logic rates. Never mind. Can be const. Not sure if it is a bug fix per se. Maybe use, is it a bug fix or not? I don't know, it's 50-50. Okay, well, it looks good. I think we can go with this, yeah. Good, let me just test it. Okay, so the golden replay we load. There's a mismatch, and the scrolling feels fine. Okay. Yeah, it feels pretty good to me. Yeah, I think this meets expectation. Let's also see this. I'm using fast forward, so that makes the game much faster, right? Okay, let's test it in a high FPS environment. So we go to skirmish, not to credits, Jesus. Solo skirmish, there we go. We pick a map that has really high frame rates. I think maps without water have really high frame rates. I think relax maps are pretty fast. Rank. Let's try Dralim Desert. This could be fast. Oh. It could be fast, but it is not. Now it's fast. Okay, so this has pretty high frame rates, and the scrolling is pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I think that meets the expectations. These functions could also be const here, but okay. Nothing of this is const. Looks very good. Now does exactly what we expect. Okay, and so is it a bug? Oof. Not sure if it's a bug. Major, yeah. Bug. I think we can leave it as a bug. Yeah, why not? Major gem bug. Yeah, more location. This is missing fixes for command line. Well, this one is not meant to be merged. Okay. Let me supersede it by that. Okay. Let's take a look at the commit. Fix RMB scrolling to normalize movement. Scroll rescaling factor. Oof. What is this? This rescales the scroll factor, so when the scroll bar is at 50%, it will result in the RMB scrolling being the same as 30 FPS retail. Oof. Okay. So reading the title, it says fix right mouse button scrolling to normalize the movement. I have no idea what that means. Normalize the movement. What does that mean? Okay, let's get this branch, fix RMB scrolling. Fix RMB scrolling. Yeah. Good. Let's build that. Yeah. I think it's time to insert a ninja GIF. Okay. So let's test the behavior of the scrolling now. Let's see. Okay, so it feels rather slow now. Yeah. Even though it's pretty high already. Accept. Okay, that is much slower. Yeah. So if we put it at around 50, it's 49 now. Let me get to that code. This one. How did you come to this magic number here? How did this come? What? Okay. How about we test that against? So we have this one. Let's disable. It's okay. Okay, so we open a skirmish. This one will have, let's do a 30 FPS here. And here we also open Dralim Deserts. Rank D here, Dralim Deserts. 30 FPS. Okay, let's see the options. Let's press on defaults. Okay, so this is retail. Yeah. It feels very similar, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. And so it feels very, very similar. Very similar. Now up and down will be a bit different because Gentoo does modify the vertical scroll speed, apparently. Okay, but this looks very similar. Oof. Maybe it's a bit faster though. Still a bit faster. Yeah, it's very similar. It's hard to like compare this. Here, this is easier to compare. But this, like, it depends on how far I drag this thing, right? Yeah, but it feels similar. It feels similar, yeah. So if we now change this to the lowest, how fast is that? It's still pretty swift, but it's not too fast and it's not too slow, I would say. It feels about right. It feels good. Let's put it to the upper end. Yeah, that's snappier. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I could imagine that pros probably still wanted to be faster, although I mean, it already is pretty snappy. You can go over the map real fast. Yeah. But maybe we need to change the upper cap of the setting. Allow it to be set even faster. Let me put a comment here. I tested this and it indeed feels very, very similar. How did you come to this value? So 28F. Add info. The scroll bar is at 50%. That's not right. So add tweak. This rescales the scroll factor. To user's scroll factor. So that a scroll factor at default 50. Scroll factor of default 50 will be identical to the scroll speed, so that the scroll speed at default scroll factor of 50 will be identical to the scroll speed to the default scroll speeds in the retail version at 30 FPS. Default factor 50 will be identical to the default scroll speed. The scroll speed at default factor 50 will be identical to the default scroll speed in the retail version at 30 FPS. Scroll speed of the retail version at 30 FPS. Let's get the user scroll factor. So just write comments without we or I. This can probably be consolidated. This info can probably be consolidated into one line into a shorter one line sentence. Let me also give a reason. Because then, in my opinion, comments will read more concise and straight to the point. So here, like instead of writing we need to get the length, you could just write gets the length of the vector before the vector is normalized, right? You just write that. Gets the length of the vector before the vector is normalized. Like you don't need to say we need to or I need to, right? Or we could do. Like you don't, like you can always scrap this part, right? Because it's like this is irrelevant information for the sentence, right? You just say this happens, that happens, and not we do this, we do that, because no one cares. No one cares who is we, no one cares who's I, unless it is of significance. But in code, we, they, I, you, it doesn't matter. Code, whatever code does can be described without any person. Like this code does something. So you could refer to as like this thing, this code, this line, this function, this class does this. We don't do this. This code does it. So you can say this function, like here, for example, right? This says this rescales. Right? You could also even shorten this and just say rescales the scroll factor. Right? We can do that. Say rescales the user scroll factor so that the scroll speed at default factor 50 will be identical to the default scroll speed of the retail version at 30 FPS. Boom. Like so, like you could write here, we need to rescale the user scroll factor, but it's irrelevant information. You just say rescales the user scroll factor, blah, 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 right? It's much more efficient wording because no one cares who does it. The code does it, right? It's implicit. If this says rescales the user scroll factor, it implies that it's this code that does it and this code, right? So there's no need to write a person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Make it scale properly with scroll factor. These comments can be optimized a bit. Can be optimized for length. be a bit more concise. Behavior feels good. Let me test it one more time. Yeah, I think we need to offer even higher speed. Like the max value needs to be higher, because I can picture that for some players this is still too slow. I would imagine some want it to be even faster, even though it's already really quite fast, but like you can still go super slow. You see, like I can move it really slow. Like you don't need to move the mouse that far, right? So I can picture that someone wants it faster. Yeah. But okay, that's a different issue. I suggest we make a follow-up change and raise the upper ceiling of the scroll speeds in the options menu, because I expect players still want faster speed. It's called faster speed. Because some players perhaps still want faster speed. Originally, they would get fast speeds with high FPS. Fast would get very, very fast scroll speeds with high FPS. What about the lower ceiling? Does that feel sufficient? Let's see. Oops. Oof. Oof. I mean, it is a bit laughable how much slower this speed is. So I do wonder, like, how should the relationship between this scrolling and the right mouse scrolling be? Like, because like if I move the mouse like this speed absolutely dwarfs the speed that we put those arrow keys, right? Like this is so much slower. And here we go, easily twice as fast, but just moving it a bit. Or even much, much faster, right? So I do wonder if we take this here out, then we just put it at 0. Good. Let's see. Okay, so now it's without the scaling, and I mean it still dwarfs the speed. So it's a bit slower. Yeah. Let's see how it compares. So it's both 30, right? What happens if we put it to... Oh, we didn't put it to default. Let me put it to 0. So now it's really, really slow. This actually feels pretty natural. The relationship between this and this feels kind of natural to me. Obviously, that's also taste. Like, how far would you move it so that it is similar? You know, like, it's up for debate, really. But it feels kind of natural. Yeah. Okay, let's put it to default. So this is also default, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty fast. And this is also still fast, but it's a bit slower. Let me get a USA function so we can see the radar. Okay, it's definitely slower. Okay, so when you're in right mouse scroll, then you can't use the arrow keys to override this. Let me say, behavior feels good. I suggest we make a follow-up change and raise the upper ceiling of the scroll speed in the options menu, because some players perhaps still wanted faster speed. The lower ceiling seems fine. Let me also say, tested it and these fields. How did you come to this value? I do wonder what is more important here. Have RMB scroll speed similar to retail at 30 FPS, or have RMB scroll speed reasonable. Scroll speed reasonable in comparison to arrow key or edge scroll speeds. I think long term it makes more sense. It makes more sense without the rescaling factor, because then B scroll feels better with arrow key scroll speeds. Feels more aligned with but short term some players might like the scroll to be similar. Although most multiplayer players will most often not use 30 FPS anyway, or like 60 FPS plus. So scroll speeds will be slower for them regardless, and they will need to visit the options menu. What do you think? To retail at 30 FPS. Short term, some place might like the scroll. Scroll speed. However, for single player players will be similar. This adjustment, the RMB speed totally dwarfs the arrow key speed. Good. Especially good for single player players. Scroll speed, ceiling seems fine. Okay. Need some water. Okay. Action missile. What is this? Okay. Yes, the floating points functions are the very since so much code is mutated, it could be the case that one mass somewhere produces a different result. Everywhere. Do we want to take this risk for zero benefits? Yeah, like currently I don't see the benefit of this upgrade. STL port, like it doesn't provide any stability upgrade, at least not that I'm aware of. I asked about this, if there's any stability, if there is, you know, stability or performance or something that we get from this upgrade, then good. But if there is no tangible benefit from this, then I think it's not worth it. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems very risky. I don't know. Someone else can maybe decide. Omniblade should decide. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. To me, this is a liability, this upgrade. It's a risk. Yeah. Puts a project at risk, I would say. Now, I could be wrong, it could be fine, right? But if there's no benefit from this version, then why do it? You know, if there was benefit, fine, let's try it, you know. But if there's no benefit, then screw that, right? That's my take on this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Selling and rebuilding internet center with satellite hack to upgrade reveals map every time on completion. Build an internet center, get upgrade satellite hack 1 and 2. Sell the building, rebuild the building. So like hack 2 kicks in and the entire map is revealed. Oof. Design. Controversial. Could be exploited if money is no concern. Yeah. It would basically allow you to sell this building and rebuild it, and then you get the reveal every time. And you could be in maybe, I don't know how long this reveal is, maybe let's say it's 30 seconds. And build time is maybe 45 seconds or so, right? So it could be that you can see the map all the time. Possibly. So, yeah. Let me see the values for this. We did change the satellite hack. In patch we already changed the satellite hack to be a power that can be activated, like the USA satellites scan. Yeah. So this may be no concern in the long term. May already be no concern in the long term. What's the time? 1:30. Okay. Okay, so we have reviewed this. We have reviewed this. Let's see what else needs review. Show them system maps and world builder. Maybe we should name this even differently and say make viewports, scroll speeds, frame rates independent. Yeah, it's even shorter. Okay, is there anything that I need to work on my own changes? With 11 open, I think this one is ready, this one is ready. This one needs some more testing. This one is ready. This one needs review. This one needs review. This one. Okay, what else can we review? Author Russian B. Okay, how about we test this? Observer cannot share it. Let's see that. Fix. Observer cannot share it. There we go. Ugh. server cannot chat. Good. Bah. Good. So next step is testing this. Yeah. No, actually, we probably need to rebase it on main to get all the latest stuff in there. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, it's just 237. Let's build it again. could strip or meshes, just leave bones. The game run somewhere. Okay, so I think we need 3 clients maybe. Then we change the resolution to something small, like this maybe. Okay. Good. Then we go to skirmish. Maybe move this up here. Good. Let's put a nice map here. Maybe we take Tournament Islands. Pretty popular, isn't it? Okay, then we take 2 observers. Yeah. And then we take maybe some medium armies here. 1. Yeah. None. Okay, so it's FFA, 2 observers. Let's go. Okay, so we have 2 observers here. Yeah, let's type something, observers view. We have typed something and we can read it. Okay, let's type back. We cannot do team chat. Everyone we use. Okay, that works good. And so if this guy now surrenders, then we have 3 observers. And this guy can now not chat. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, that there's some bug like this. Yeah. This change is incomplete. After surrender, it is not possible to chat. To enable observer diplomacy screen. Yeah, we can also not open the diplomacy screen. Here we can open the diplomacy. Observer backspace button. Enable observer HUD. Enable observer HUD. What does this mean? Enable observer HUD. It is also not possible to open the diplomacy screen. Tab button. Note that Gen 2 also allows to chat with backspace button as observer. This one does not. Backspace does nothing. I don't think there's a need to block backspace for observer. It can chat with both. They both work as far as I'm aware. So yeah. So the only thing that this change currently does is this one thing. Only this. But it needs a whole more things to be fully functioning. I can't remember what this means. Knob 8 bytes to enable observer HUD. What is this? To enable observer HUD. What does that mean? Observer HUD. So what did he enable? Only one place. Yeah, that's not enough. Enable. Yeah, so it's only does this, but it needs to do 4 more things. Now I can't remember what this means here. Maybe I take a look at my Gentoo. Let me block the view for a moment and launch old Visual Studio. Yeah. Okay, I will look for observer. Let's see, observer. Here. It literally says observer HUD, but what does it mean? Ops HUD. Shit. I hope I have it documented somewhere. It doesn't say. Ops HUD. What does that mean? Observer HUD. I don't know what this means. Okay, let me get back the view for you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, the observer HUD. Can't remember what that means. It must have some use, but what was it? I cannot remember, and I also don't understand from Gentoo code what the enable observer HUD is supposed to mean. It must be shortly after the code for that. Can't remember. I don't sent from Gen to code, but it must have had some use. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Is it about like this gray button here? I mean, it looks like so we surrendered here, right? I mean, they look the same. Looks the same. Maybe I have an idea. How about we launch? How about we launch it with GenTool, the original game, here, and we check observer there. I'm not sure if we can just launch with an AI and observe AI. Maybe that's not possible. Can we do that? No, here we can't pick observer. Let's go to multiplayer network. Oh, GenTool is not loaded, I see. Why not? Why not? It's loaded now. Okay, so multiplayer, network, create, observer, and then put 2 hard armies. Does this work? It doesn't. How can we test observer? We need to, I don't know. I don't know, we can test it. We can put a teammate and then I can surrender, right? I have a teammate, we start, yeah. And then I surrender, and then I'm observer. I just sell, I surrender. My teammate gets, my teammate sells my headquarter. It's certainly the right choice, yeah. Okay, but now I'm observer, and it looks the same as it did before, no? I don't see a difference here. But we can open this, and we can chat. Only allies view. Observers view. Yeah, it makes sense that we cannot chat. Only allies. Yeah. Chat also allows a chat with backspace button. But you are right. This seems not necessary. Okay. Yeah, I think it's fine to just allow enter, because here we have this observers view text, and here on backspace it says only allies. I mean, it's not wrong. Our observers are allies. Actually, I do wonder, does this allow to only chat to observer allies? Allies view. It also allows to chat with backspace button as observer. I cannot recall if this allows to chat to observer, to former teammates that are now observer. Probably not. Cannot remember what the name is supposed to mean. I tested in Gentoo and I do not see it. I do not see what that is supposed to do. Yeah. Enable HUD. Heads up display. I mean, it just shows a random name. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's useless. It's possible it's useless. I don't know. Does not do anything other than enter chats. Then it's fine to have that disabled. To keep backspace disabled for observers. Yeah, I really don't know what this is doing. I don't know. I don't know. It's something. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Good. I think probably end it here. Yeah, it has been 2 hours, 6 minutes. Good. Yeah, we got a bit of stuff done, mostly reviews, right? Yeah. Good. Then. Mm, mm, mm. Then we take a break here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.